Welcome to the Robbins Center. The Robbins Center is Emerson's on-campus clinic. It services about 100 clients a week with a wide variety of disorders and all across the lifespan. We are currently on the 7th floor here, which is our pediatric floor, and on the 8th floor we see more of our adolescent and adult clients. So on the pediatric level, we see clients for a lot of different individual deficits that they may have, like articulation, phonology, language, fluency, you name it. And then we also have two specialty groups, which I'll talk about a little bit later on. We have the Thayer-Lindsley program and the group language program. And then at the adolescent and adult level, we have a couple different specialty groups. We have the accent modification program, transgender voice, and also different aphasia groups. So there's a really rich clinical experiences at Emerson's clinic before you even have your external placements, but then all students do have external placements after their first Robbins semester. So I'm going to show you around. Here we go. So on the left here we have our therapy prep room. So we have a lot of different resources for clients all across the lifespan and with a wide variety of disorders. So sometimes your clinical instructors will navigate you or send you to these resources specifically, but I always tell students that the very first week you just come in there, open up all the cabinets and see what we've got, because there's a lot of good resources that we can use in therapy. So we are now in one of our therapy rooms. So this room would probably be used for an individual client with a child. And so if you look into the mirror here, it just looks like a standard mirror, but then you can pop around the other side and see that it's actually a one-way mirror. So your clinical instructor will sit behind the glass and deliver their supervision and observe you from back there. And so I always tell students it's not as scary as it seems. They're really just there to support you. And I found that to be very evident in my clinical practice that I've done here. So for an example, last week my client had a glass of water and it was empty, so my supervisor knocked on the door and had delivered a new pitcher. So they really are just there to support you, and it really helps you learn a lot really quickly. All right, so we can head down the hallway here and I'll show you our two group language rooms. So welcome to our preschool language classrooms. In here we house two specific programs. There's the Thayer-Lindsley Family-Centered Program for deaf and hard of hearing infants and toddlers and their families. So in the Thayer-Lindsley program, there's a baby group, which meets in a room very similar to this, but a little bit smaller, the toddler group, which meets in this room, and then there's also a parent support group. So this room also, like the individual rooms, has a one-way mirror, so parents and observers can sit behind that as well. Also in this room, we have the group language program. So the group language program is also a birth to 3 program for kids with early social communication deficits. So these group language programs are really good opportunities for us to learn, especially in that birth to 3 setting, and you also get really good supervision from an SLP, and there's also a developmental specialist in the room with you as well. So we're in the research suite now. Emerson houses 2 on-campus research labs. There's the Little Lab, which stands for the Lab for Infant and Toddler Language. It meets under the direction of Dr. Rhiannon Leister, and this lab looks at early social language development in kids with autism. And then we also have the FACE Lab, which is under the direction of Dr. Ruth Grossman, and that lab looks at understanding and perceiving how kids with autism understand social cues. So in here we have our AAC Lab. AAC stands for Alternative and Augmentative Communication. And so in the AAC Lab, it's actually part of our AAC course. It's a lab aspect of that course. So if you look around the room here, we have a lot of different devices, low-tech, high-tech, mid-tech, and even eye-tracking devices. And as part of the course, you have to come into here and demonstrate competency on at least 13 different devices. So it's really good hands-on learning in a way to really understand how to use and program the devices in addition to just learning the theories in the classroom. So the last thing I want to say before we go is just my favorite part of Emerson, which is the community here. So on the 9th floor, we have our graduate student lounge. It's one of my favorite places. In the grad lounge, a lot of students gather to eat lunch, hang out, work on group work. There's also 3 different things in the lab, which I love specifically. There's a map of where everybody lives, which is nice because you can put a little pin on where you're from, and sorry, not where you're from, where you live in Boston. And it's a good spot to meet with current students and have study groups and commute together, and there's also pictures of all the students and the faculty. So you really get to know your community here, and one of the biggest highlights for me of Emerson has just been getting to know everyone. Everyone's really supportive and collaborative and friendly, and it really feels like a nice, positive, healthy learning environment, and I'm definitely going to miss that when I graduate. Thanks.